The enemy bombardment is never ending. The streets are filled with blood and bodies. 7 out of the 15 supply ships have been sunk. The 6th, 18th, and 24th Infantry Battalions have been completely wiped out. The fight still rages on, and there is no end in sight.
Mr. President, I recommend a full retreat in that area. I don't think that we can go on.
Why should we turn and run? If we could get 1,000 men to go and rally our troops, then we could—
I don't think that sending in more troops is a proper course of action, let alone one that the president should even consider.
I agree with the secretary. We should not do anything to prolong the war.
We need to use force to bring this war to a swift end.
At what expense? We cannot continue to send our soldiers on suicide missions.
You must consider the millions of lives and billions of dollars we have already wasted on this endeavor.
Not to mention our oil and iron supply have already been mostly depleted.
And after our failed bombing raid last week, the people want to know what you are doing about this situation.
Mr. President, we have to do something before this becomes a situation we have no control over.
It already is.
Mr. President, please, sending in more troops is not the option if you want to achieve peace.
I agree. Mr. President, you must consider an alternative option in order to end this conflict.
Mr. President, you can't be afraid to use military force!
Military force is what got us into this mess in the first place!
We are so close to ending. If we get close, enough!
Get out. Now. I said get out.
I heard you. I know what you're going through.
Do you? I am the most powerful person in the world, yet I feel powerless.
Then do something about it. Stop sitting on your hands feeling sorry for yourself.
What do you suggest I do? Send millions more soldiers into a war that's been fought on the same field for the past 6 years? Or would you rather me defend the crumbling borders and wait for the enemy to knock down my door?
I suggest you start by doing what the people elected you to do and lead.
Lead what? In 8 months, this country isn't going to exist.
I suggest you start by finding ways of speaking to your cabinet without throwing them from the room.
You see how they look at me? They see me as no more than a figurehead.
Or as a child waiting to be told what he wants to hear.
I am this close to strangling you right now.
You're not tall enough.
You're funny.
What's funny is your lack of motivation.
Excuse me. I have done all I can.
All you have done is allow problem after problem to spiral out of control.
Watch your tone.
Stop acting like a child. At least I am trying to end this monstrosity you created.
You dropped this war on my desk.
I never anticipated—
7 million lives lost. 847 ships at the bottom of the ocean. 5,000 planes shot down. $3 trillion in debt, and no less than 7 million families that have to be told why their brother, mother, father, or son isn't coming home. Do not lecture me on morals or ethics. You lost that right.
I thought you knew what you signed on for.
You were not a wartime president. 8 years you spent in this office, all you knew was peace. You have no idea the weight I carry on my shoulders.
There are bumps in the road in every administration.
Bumps? I sent 4 million souls to war in the first year alone and was given half of them back in boxes. So please, explain to me how this situation is classified as a bump.
You said it yourself. You are a wartime president, and therefore the crises that you deal with are not trivial. But you are not a trivial man, nor a trivial president. You looked one of the most powerful men in the Eastern Hemisphere in the face and told him that if he didn't end his culture of segregation, you would, and I quote, wipe him from the face of this earth.
Yes, but no.
You dropped unemployment down to 3%. You raised the standard of living to the highest state it's been in the past 75 years.
None of that matters. Not anymore. It is my personal fault this nation is crumbling.
You're fighting a losing battle, but that's what the people love about you. You are a man who stood up for what he believed in and was willing to fight to the end to ensure safety and peace to all those who deserve it.
That man died the day this war began.
Years ago, I met a boy full of life and hope. He pushed himself to the ends of the earth to make others happy. He never once put himself before someone else. He did not think he deserved to. He thought he only existed to serve others and help them when they were down. He was his own worst enemy, his own hardest critic. He drove himself into the ground time and time again, and each time he would stagger back to his feet and convince himself and the world to try again. He kept going, trying to ignore the pain. You thought no one noticed. But I did. You have risen from the ashes time and time again, and I have no doubt that you will do it again this time. Get some sleep, Mr. President.
Get me the office of the Vice President.